our next speaker is Carmen Marsh. And her first interest in building people up, like seeing them succeed is what motivates her. She's all about that. And she advocates for women in cybersecurity by turning her energy to creating opportunities for her. She did 100 Women in 100 Days Cybersecurity Career Accelerator. I love that. That is such a cool idea to get people in there. And she's just going to tell us all about getting a job in cybersecurity. Welcome, Carmen. So nice to have you here. What's your power word?
Power word is, I would say grit.
Grit. All right.
Grit.
So she's going to have the year of grit. Year of grit. Okay, here goes the grit. Get ready.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, Patty. Great, nice introduction. Happy to be here. This is my first conversation for this group of women. So happy to be here. So what I wanted to actually start off with is something a little different than just a cybersecurity profession. And one of the things I wanted to tell you, because obviously we are at the beginning of the year, everybody's got some New Year's resolution, typically. One of the things that being in any job, it's not just cybersecurity, it could be any technical job, or actually any job, can be pretty daunting. We have a very stressful life. We have a home life. We're really trying to be successful in so many different areas. So self-care is super important. Self-care, well-being, and one of the recent things I found Dr. David Sinclair, and he's talking about longevity and talking about how to reverse aging, which is amazing. We have done a lot of research, but there hasn't been a lot of new encouraging research out. But if you ever looked up Dr. David Sinclair, he's got some really amazing results by just adding some of the supplements. So I will be quick because I only have 10 minutes to talk about, cybersecurity profession and about 100 Women, 100 Days Cybersecurity Career Accelerator. So I wanted to just quickly tell you my protocol. So I decided to implement one of the things, fasting. So I'm actually skipping one of the meals, which makes me, for some reason, just gives me more energy. So that is the opposite of what you would think, doing the fasting. So that's one. I'm starting to take resveratrol, and as well as it's called NMN. It's not M&M. M&M sounds too good, but it is a supplement that is increasing. There's a substance in our cells that it's called NAD that is so critical to our survival. We would literally die within 30 seconds if we were without that molecule. So in any case, I've been adding that to my protocol. I'm trying to do 3 hours of fitness or some sort of, whether it's yoga, whether it's walking, whether it's weight training. I'm trying to switch it back and forth. But I can tell you, and now it makes me feel so much better from stress perspective. It's just really great. So anyway, anyone else that has any great protocols that you've implemented lately? Any ideas? I'm looking in a chat to see if there's anything. Nope. All right, so let's talk about cybersecurity. Meditation, Gina, yes. Walking. Walking is one of the best exercises to reduce stress. Absolutely. Love it. Very good. Find something that works for you. Not everybody's got the same schedule. Not everybody's got, exactly the same life situation. So just find what works for you. In any case, we are here to talk about the cybersecurity as profession. And one of the misconceptions out there is that really there's only one way to get into cybersecurity, but there's so many pathways. When I look at my career, I got into cybersecurity. Of course, it actually wasn't intentional, but I started off as a very technical person. I started at a help desk, and then I was systems engineer, and then I was a network engineer, and then I was a programmer, and then I was tester. And I've went through a lot of different jobs before cybersecurity. We called it information security at that time. Caught my attention. And I was curious. That's one of the things. Your curiosity is super important when you are, trying to think about switching your jobs, or just or upskilling. Yeah, curiosity is super important. That really got me into cybersecurity a long time ago, because I would ask questions. So we had these infosec engineers coming to our lab to get their computer fixed, or if they had issues with connectivity or so on. So I would always ask them questions. What are you guys working on? What's your project? And it was very interesting. And when the opening happened that was at Stanford Research Institute, I said, you know what? I want to give it a try. I want to learn more. And so that was my journey. That's how I started. But that's a very common path. I would say either you're coming from the infrastructure side, or you're coming from software development side into cybersecurity. That's a very common thing. But that's not the only way to get into cybersecurity. And as you know, we have, in technology in general, we have gender gap. And when you specifically look at cybersecurity, there is not only gender gap, but it's also, we have a skills talent gap. So there's so many open jobs. It's incredible. Well-paying jobs, great jobs, interesting jobs, really so much to explore and so much to look into. So a few years back, when my business partner and I decided to break away and actually leave corporate world, we wanted to hire as many, because we were women-owned business. We wanted to hire more women into cyber risk analyst jobs. And we posted our jobs, and there wasn't really a whole lot of applications from women. I mean, it wasn't a surprise directly, but it seemed like the industry has not been doing a whole lot there's been a lot of talk. One of the things that we know, we know what the issues are, we talk about the issues, but where is the action? And that really what got me started, just researching, do research. Is it really that women don't like the field? Is it what's causing not to get more interest? So why don't we have more women in cybersecurity? So there has been multiple things. One of the things is there's a lot of information out there. It's too much information, actually, and you get lost once you start reviewing. Once you start doing your research on Google, it really.
Whoops. I'm hoping that she's going to come back and we're going to hear a little bit more, because that was really good. I was just getting into it. So her connection just blew out for a second. So I'll just recap what she was talking about. Why aren't there more women in cybersecurity? I wondered that too. And I wondered, what are some, here she is, she's back.
Okay. I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I got disconnected.
Pick it up. So I'm glad that you're going to tell us really why. What'd you find out in the research?
Okay, so the research was that too much information. There was just too much information going this direction, going that direction, and really information security, cybersecurity is evolved in so many different directions now. There's so many different jobs. There's 35 different categories, even in cybersecurity. So it evolves so much. So it gets really daunting when you start doing your research. You go online, you Google, and say, okay, tell me more about jobs in cybersecurity. It's too much information out there. So that was one. Another thing was the cost of certifications. Some of the certifications that are super important to your career, you rarely would get anything that's less than $3,000 per certification. So, and typically you don't just have one certification, you're going to have multiple certifications, because that's just something that's really helpful for you, in getting into the job, and also get more of a an expert understanding of certain areas. So that was one. And I think a little bit scary too. Cybersecurity in general is, there's still a little bit stigma associated with that. A lot of times people imagine hackers, and I'm surprised that that's still the way it is, but it is. Being just a guy sitting in a basement hacking away on their computers, so it just doesn't seem very exciting, I think. So the way we have been talking about it, it's not exactly exactly. And if you look like Gina or I, they would say, wow, that's not a typical. And really that was, I don't have enough time to talk about that, but that's the reason why we created Cybersecurity Woman of the Year awards, to actually bring to light those women that are actually doing amazing work in a field, so others can see them and understand that there's a lot of great women just like you and I working in the field. We loving it. It's just a great field to be in. And I see that I'm out of time.
We're fantastic in there. I love that. So what I love is that now you can just hand off to Gina, then she can pick up wherever you left off, right? And so you're going to be talking about the same topic in a way from different perspectives. But I really, really appreciated that you came up here and just set the stage for it. I love that you were talking about your intermittent fasting too, because any kind of I did the first maps for Dave Asprey, with Bulletproof Coffee. So I was way back in the hack, way back in the day. So thank you so much for being here, Carmen. Thank you for coming up and sharing your expertise with us.
Absolutely. And I actually, do you want me to copy and paste some of the resources I wanted to share?
I would love that. That would be so great.
So let me do that.
Put those into the chat, and we'll look forward to everybody. If you want a warm introduction to Carmen Marsh, you know how to get it. Get in there and send her some information. Thanks, Carmen. All right.
Thank you so much, Patty.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.